Vegas. We were showing them and all that kind of stuff. She says, "Why do I want the blue one?"
Yeah.
I'm thinking, well, we'll talk about it.
My dad was like, I'm going to make you a trike. Because that way you don't have to worry about holding everything up, and you've got 2 kids, and I'm gonna make it to where you can have both of them behind you and sitting down. So yeah, but he never got to. So he got Alzheimer's at 55.
At 55? I'm sorry, that sucks.
Yeah, watch him until he was 70 something, going that way.
I'll be 70 in August. And it's freaking me out. But you know what? I've never done drugs. I never smoked. I've never had a beer in my life. I've always been in the exercise. I went to World Gym in Roseville for a couple of years, but I used to build all the gym equipment. Then I got into doing interior stairwelling. I told you, hand forged, blacksmith, all that kind of stuff. And I got back into doing the bikes. There's people all the time, hey, I want a front end. Can you build me a front end? So I've had all the fixtures.
Yeah.
I go, nah, I'm not ready to do that. I built close to 4,000 front ends. I would wake up in the middle of the night like in sweats. Like, it drove me crazy, all the different numbers and the bends and rotations and all the stuff that was through the thing. It literally was making me go insane. And then finally about front ends were changing. They used to be like longer, then it went back to long tubes, front ends. And I told John, I said, I need to take a hiatus. I need to do something else. Where I got into building gym equipment, did that, stuff like that, and then all of a sudden John comes to me and says, hey, I got cancer, I got to sell this stuff. I said, brother, you do what you need to do.
Right.
Same of the thing, you know, so. Anyway, but I got the front end fixture back, so I just got it all back there. I was using it first when I was started doing the front ends again. But I'm thinking like, well, why am I doing this? This is like a antiquated old, it's like it's scrap metal. I wouldn't do that to it because for me it's got so much history.
Right.
It's like it's cool. I just have it sitting back there. I'd rather if I had my own shop, it'd be hanging up in there somewhere, you know. So, anyway. Well, I can go on and on and on.
Yeah. Well, we can't go back. We got to go forward. So
That's the truth. Because a lot of times you don't want to go back, right?
yeah. Well, I don't care. I liked when I was younger being around all the motorcycle bikers and everything. I liked it. I grew up going to motorcycle meets, going to all kinds of stuff when I was a kid. And then my husband got into motorcycles, and my dad helped him build the Triumph. So he's got that too.
Yeah, the other brother got the Triumph, or the oldest got the Harley, and then the next one down got the Triumph. Well, the oldest, as you already know, couldn't keep doing that, so he passed it to me, and then the Triumph got passed to me because the next older brother decided, well, I'm never going to be able to kick this over because my leg got messed up by a machine at Amazon.
He was at Amazon and it smashed his leg in between the machine smashed his leg between a thing with thought he was going to lose it.
The part was about that wide that his leg went in between. So it really messed his leg up pretty bad.
Messed him up pretty bad. So he can't even use it to kick it over.
Now, what Triumph is it, like a Bonneville or a trophy?
It's a 72, I believe, a T120R Bonneville.
Okay, yeah, it's got dual carbs on it.
I was not the one to tear it down, so everything's already torn down by my brother.
Look at the box, you can find dual carbs.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are good bikes. That was like the top of the line type thing. A TR6 was a single amyl carburetor on it.
Okay.
So I had one of those to kind of chop it up a little bit. Not a front end, but just whatever I could do that's cheap.
Well, he did same thing, chopped it, put it all in, it fit my husband's body. But then my husband had to give it up because his back couldn't handle it. So, yeah.
My mind keeps saying, you're good, let's go. And you're back, no, off of me or something.
He loved riding the motorcycle. He just loved it, like my dad. And then I started riding with my husband to swap meets and stuff, and taking kids with us, actually. We had Easy Rider take pictures of our oldest son, and he was a little guy, and we went down and had a leather vest specially made for him because they didn't have kids' vests back then. And we had ties in here so that it could grow with him.
Right.
And so, so he was...
Cool.
Yeah.
I can see my oldest brother, who was John's partner when they first visited the front end. And I was just getting out of high school, so my older brother's 13 years older than I am, but I idolized him. He was a fighter, he was a drinker, he was like all the stuff that you wouldn't want your kid to do or something, but my dad's an alcoholic, kicked me out of the house when I was 14, so my brother was my legal guardian. So I knew by what he's doing, what not to do, instead of like, that's what I want to do, type of a thing, you know, so, anyway. But he had like Sportsters and bikes and stuff like that, and he'd bring them over to him, because I lived right around the corner from him. He'd bring it over because he'd get ready to go do a bike show or go for a ride, go to Tahoe or something. Hey, I need you to wash this all up. So I'd wash his bike and polish it, do all this kind of stuff for me all the time. It's like, he's dead now, unfortunately, but so, yeah.
Well, my dad he was in the Roaming Saints. So,
What?
Roaming Saints.
Roaming Saints?
Yeah.
Is that a Christian type of thing?
It was a husband's club because can't remember his name now. What is his name? I wanted to say Buddy, but it's not Buddy. From the Hells Angels.
Sonny.
Sonny Barger?
Yeah.
Wanted him in the Hells Angels, but my dad said, I can't do that, I got a family.
Right.
So that's when they formed the Roaming Saints.
Right.
And then he got beat up by the Gypsy Jokers. So, because my uncle started it. My uncle went over and ripped off colors off of a Gypsy Joker. And then the Gypsy Joker came after my uncle, and my dad said, no, you can't, because my dad was like, he was a weightlifter, so he was 52, 28. And he was a short guy, a little short thing.
Right.
So, but they got him in and beat him up. So.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't hang around with those guys. I got friends. I got friends that were misfits and stuff like that. And one of them was the sergeant of arms or whatever it was. When somebody owed him money for drugs, he's the one that pulled the teeth out of their face and all that kind of stuff until the guy figured out a way to pay him or something like that. But I don't want nothing to do with him. We were raised in the same neighborhood, and we did all the stuff. We would still dirt bike ride together. We'd go hunt together. We'd go fish together. Hey, Bill, we're gonna go for a ride. Not me. I'm going that way. You go that way.
Yeah.
I don't want nothing to do with that stuff. You know? So,
oh yeah. That's why my dad was just like, no, I've got a family. I gotta keep working. I can't deal in all the drugs and stuff that's going on with you guys.
Right.
I can't be arrested.
That just wasn't my deal, you know.
Yeah.
I love motorcycles. I just got a tattoo on my arm right here for my mom, who died when I was 11 years old with breast cancer.
Okay.
And then I just had this, if you can see it, tattooed on my arm. It's the front end.
Oh, okay.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
So, and I still going to put H&H Cycle in it, but on that I got no tattoos. I never had. Everybody goes like, you got all, you're into this bike stuff, you don't got any tattoos, you don't drink and smoke around, what the frick? I said, you don't got to rape and pillage, you love motorcycles.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding.
Yeah, I don't have any tattoos and I love motorcycles.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, that's just not my deal to do crazy wrong stuff, you know. So.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's just, it was crazy back then, though.
Yeah. Yeah.
But now it's nice to see a resurgence because you're not seeing these. You know, you're not seeing the trends and the all
I mean,
that stuff.
you're just barely starting to see the.
We got a lot of original stuff too. At one time, I had about 20 original front ends hanging in my shop.
Oh wow, okay.
You know, that people would trade them in or something like that. I said, well, I'll give you $150 for it if you want a new front end. But I wasn't trying to make money on it. I just did it because it's my history.
Yeah.
I had them all lined up around the rail up on my upper deck and all that kind of stuff. It was freaking cool. And then my digger bike, I got the frame for it, is back in that back room over there. Tank on it and stuff. And I had an ROP student that came in to work for me or something like that. ROP, like a high school.
Right.
Like that, something like that. And so, and then he comes up and goes, hey, I hear you used to build bikes. I go, yeah. And he goes, well, I got this bike. And it's like a Harley frame, and I want to put a Kawasaki motor in. What do you suggest? I suggest you build a frame for your Kawasaki motor.
Yeah, no kidding.
You know, don't try to do this and
Yeah.
you know, screw this thing all up. So I didn't know what he was talking about. And then all of a sudden he came in to me one day and he was talking about the frame and stuff like that. I go, what? I said, I opened up the picture. I said, is that the frame you got? Go, yeah, that's it. But it was still kind of new to me, you know, that when I got rid of it, it's like, no big deal or something like that. So I said anyway, so he was getting ready to go to the service. He got home, hey, you want to buy the frame? I don't know how much he was, I don't know, like $70? The gas station worth $1,000.
Yeah.
And I thought like $70? Yeah, I'll take it. So he brought it over to me, so I got it. I still got it back there. They used to be hanging in my shop, my old shop and stuff like that, you know. So, but I can't find the motor. The motor, I built the cylinders. They were shovel heads on a set of cylinders, 100 cubic inch Sportster. Dual carb, they were fuel injecting, 2 magnetos, so it had 2, you know, 4 spark plugs in the thing.
Wow.
It was crazy. Put it in Autorama, and I came in second to a guy named Al Ciccini, who built a bike for Isaac Hayes.
Okay.
And so he had his bike, but he could be across the room. He was an electrician, so he was a whiz with electronics and everything.
Right.
So his bike was on a turntable. Be sitting all of a sudden across the room, he'd fire it up. And everybody go like, "What the frick?"
Yeah.
So that was cool. So, and plus when we got there, we were in Harmon's van, and he was plumbing it all up. Or we're driving down to it was a motorcycle exhibition, they called it back then. And then, and he couldn't figure out a couple of things. He said, we're not going to fire this thing because I don't want to do something and burn this motor up. I need to get it back to the shop where I can get this all figured out. I'm not driving down a road or something. So he's kind of makeshift, put all the plumbing and stuff on it and left it like that. So because I didn't fire it up, I lost the show to Al Ciccini. But even the announcer said, the reason why I lost it is because I didn't fire it up. But to be fair, your bike's supposed to run when you go in there.
Yeah.
So, but I thought, well, that's cool. Big old trophy and stuff like that. But I had all these trophies I seen earlier in my shop. And when I had to move, I had buckets. My whole wall's full of trophies. Kind of cool, but at the same time, it's like I wasn't doing it for the trophies necessarily.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
I like being involved in the show and meet people, talk to people, and all that
That
kind of
was
stuff.
my
You know,
dad,
so
yeah.
I took all these trophies and took them to the dump. So, oh well, they're cheap. You know, the wings are busted off, and they're not metal anywhere in them, you know, so they're cheap.
Yeah, plastic.
Yeah.
Yep. And some hot metal in some of them still.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know I got a trophy for a poker run, but somebody else got the trophy because they messed up and didn't realize that I had 4 queens and a 10. And so they gave it to somebody who had 4 queens and a 3.
Oh.
And so I was like, excuse me, I have a higher one. I got it. You know, but after they gave it away, I was like, oh, they said, we'll send you a trophy. I'm like, I don't really care anymore.
Too late.
Yeah, you messed up. But I love my poker runs too.
Yeah. I've done a couple of them.
Yeah.
I don't do a lot. I've never even been to Sturgis. I used to do street or easy riders every year. And I sponsored them. I gave them 2 motorcycles from the ground up, built the motorcycles from the ground up. And they put a price number on them for one of them $50,000, the other one was going to be $30,000, like that. So the first one, the $50,000 one, business was slow for everything, for interior everything was slow. The economy was starting to do this and like that. So John Green, who was a friend of mine, who owned the Easy Riders events, he did the shows and all kind of stuff, the Chillicothe and the rodeos and stuff like that, but it had nothing to do with the magazine. That was Paisano and stuff. You know. But anyway, so he wanted me to see, he said, how about give me a front end or a motorcycle and I'll take it to all the shows, like every show we have from January all the way through until September. I'm thinking like, well, I got a lot of money in this thing for you to just take my bike and take it to all your shows and stuff like that. So I talked to a friend of mine who was good with money, who had made a lot of money, and I said something to him about that, and he goes like, I think you ought to do it, because if you were to give that bike to those guys and have to pay them to travel with it all over the United States, you couldn't afford to do it. Type of thing.
Right.
So they're going to do it for free. And then in Chillicothe, Ohio, they auctioned it off, or something like that, like on stage.
Okay.
So I had to get up on stage and give the bike away to some guy or something like that, you know. So it was pretty cool. Chillicothe, Ohio was kind of a pretty good state.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I gave him one the following year. And that's the same time we were losing our house. And my wife said, what are you doing? I said, I'm obligated to build this bike. We
Yeah.
can't do that, we can't afford it. I said, I
You
gotta do
what
it
you
somehow.
gotta do,
You
yeah,
gotta do it. I couldn't also
Yeah.
say, you're gonna do it, and something advertise, all of a sudden,
yeah.
I don't do it?
Uh-huh.
That's not how it works, but anyway. So I
Yeah.
gave that to them. I didn't go back and give it away that year, but they sent a truck out for it, you know?
Mhm.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
yeah.
I like the cool setup. We've got we're moving to Oregon and I want property that we can do this
Yeah,
on.
absolutely.
Because
Okay, he bought it.
he's gonna need a shop. There's all
Right.
there is to it.
Right.
So
Yeah, because the front, obviously, and the roof and all, there was
Mm-hmm.
just container there, so we cut that side out. Still gave us another 8 feet that way and another 8 feet that way.
right.
But we're eventually gonna wants to cut all that out, so we got it, you know, all the way around it like that.
Yeah.
And that's what I would do if I was gonna buy something somewhere, I just have to do that.
Yeah.